What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Proverbial Life podcast. So this morning, thinking about these deliverance ministers and these prosperity gospel places, and I don't want to make a tight correlation between the two, because not every deliverance minister is a prosperity gospel minister, although sometimes that is the case, more likely than not. But these deliverance ministers are shams. And I don't care what any of them say. I don't care who it is. The whole deliverance ministry is a sham, right? The idea that Christians can be inhabited by demons is utterly false, okay? If you are a child of God, you have the Spirit of God living within you. You can't have the Spirit of God living within you and be inhabited by a demon or demons. And as I'm digging into this deliverance ministry, whatever, where I'm looking for is like this infatuation for deliverance ministry. I'm seeing people who don't know their Bibles, and I'm talking about the recipients of this deliverance. They don't know their Bible, and they may not be believers in the first place, but they are going to a church, or they want to get closer to God, or they want to see things changed in their life. Whatever the entry point is, what I'm seeing is a lot of these people, they don't know their Bible. They want a breakthrough, but they don't want to come to Christ. And they may say they want to come to Christ, but they want the cookies on the table, and they don't want the cross that comes with Christ. So there's a lot here, y'all, because I was in this movement. There's a lot of legalism in these circles. There's a lot of things that there's a lot of actions behind the scenes that cause people to apostatize the faith. They just stop following Christ because they get sick and tired of trying to work their way out of deliverance, try to work themselves free. And I think this whole deliverance ministry is a means to gain notoriety and popularity, and it's this infatuation for power, right? For the ministers who are partaking in this deliverance, right? This idea that Christians can be inhabited by demons. It's this feeling of authority, and this feeling of power, and this feeling of being the demon slayer, right? The one who just cast out 7 demons. I mean, you the man, bro. You're anointed. That man's mantle is anointed. It's a load of junk. It's a load of junk. It's manipulative. It's taking advantage of people, and in these movements, there's tons of women, and where the women are, the men will follow. And so in these movements, there's tons of women. There's these people who, again, most of which, man, are not believers. And I don't have statistics to prove that. I just have anecdotal evidence, you know. But a lot of these people, man, they don't know their Bibles. They don't know. They don't have any lasting breakthroughs in their life, because everything is associated with a demon. Everything is tied back to someone else or something else. You've always got to be digging deeper to find out what the generational curse is, right? There's always a studying of yourself instead of a looking to Christ. And that's what we need to be doing. We need to be looking to Christ. We don't need to be looking into our ancestral curses and strongholds and all these things. We need to fix our gaze on Christ. You know why? Because it is finished. It is finished. Christ, listen, y'all. Christ accomplished everything on behalf of his people. So who the Son sets free is free indeed. He tells the woman who was caught in the act of adultery, go and sin no more. Right? He forgives her and tells her, go and sin no more. But that isn't the case with these deliverance ministries. You may not have outright sinned, but you opened a door. You can open a door, right? And this door is where the demons can come in. You can open a door by practically anything. You can struggle with lust, and you've reopened the door. Now, mind you, you may have just been delivered from lust, right? But and delivered means the demon being exorcised out of you. You may have delivered that demon, but since you went back to it, that demon must have entered because the house was swept clean, right? It's all these cliche languages. But when you look at the context of Scripture, like that passage where they use the demon, I don't have the Bible in front of me, but the demon left the house and it was swept clean and it came back, and they misuse these passages of Scripture, and they say it in a way that's very charismatic and convincing. The only problem is the Bible doesn't agree with them. The Bible does not agree with them. So watch out for these deliverance ministers, man. I'm planning on doing a lot more content on them because there's a lot of people, man, who have been deceived by them. If you know anyone, listen to this. If you know anyone who has actively been involved in deliverance ministry and is no longer in those circles, please have them hit me up. Have them hit me up. My contact information will be below this video. Have them hit me up because I want to expose this nonsense, man. I want to expose this nonsense. When you start playing with souls and you start promising more than God promises, or under-promising what God promised and making people be dependent on you and not on the Lord and his sufficient work on our behalf, man, I've got a problem with that. I've got a problem with that, and so should you. So should you. So that's all I wanted to share. Just a couple of thoughts on this deliverance ministry. I can't get it out of my head because I'm like I said, I'm starting to look into it a lot more. Starting to look into different names of the New Age deliverance ministers, and I'll talk more about the New Age concerning these deliverance ministers as well. But for now, we'll leave it at that. This is the Proverbial Life, a podcast where we encourage Christians to look to Christ, live wisely, and leave a legacy behind for generations to follow. Grace and peace, y'all.